Hello everyone. I'm Olivier. I'm part of the company 3ds Outscale. We are the cloud provider of Dassault Systèmes in France, and we are using Zabbix. And I want to explain to everyone and tell you the story of the Zabbix platforms and their evolution in the last years. At the same time, it's a little bit of the story of my job in this company. So the story began for me in 3ds Outscale when I started my job interview, and what will be my future responsible asked me a question: what will you do during your first weeks? And I just answered that I will just sit there and start working, of course, but also see what's nice and what could be improved in the company. And for the point that would be improved, I would work on it particularly for these points. So just for the information, 3ds Outscale is an infrastructure cloud provider. We have several data centers around the world, now in Japan, China, Europe, and US, both coasts, India also. And there is a lot of diversity in what we have to monitor. Like NetApp storage systems, a lot of Cisco switches and routers, a lot of hypervisors, of course, as well as a lot of VMs that are running the orchestrator that we develop inside the company. And, well, this is a very diverse environment. So in the first weeks, it was not my subject before, but I decided to focus on the monitoring subject that needed some work. In the beginning, it was quite simple. This was my first steps with Zabbix. We had several Zabbix servers. Well, to make it simple, I would say that for each of our platforms deployed and for each data centers in the world, so in the US, Asia, and Europe, we had 2 VMs doing the monitoring, one with the Zabbix server plus the front end, and the other one being a PostgreSQL database that was another VM. So only 2 VMs. That was a very simple setup. So I started working as a system administrator. But as I decided to focus on the monitoring task, my daily work was quite almost only doing Zabbix configuration, templating, scripting for user parameters. I reworked the alerting part that was not totally efficient. And as well, I have done also a lot of dashboarding using the Ruby language and the dashing smashing project maybe some of you have used. So I was very fast flagged as the monitoring guy, and everybody was coming to me. Well, everybody was doing the monitoring anyway, but as soon as I started doing it, people were just focusing on their main storage or network task and come to me for all the monitoring work. So, as I said, we had multiple Zabbix platforms everywhere, so it was something like 10 Zabbix platforms composed of 2 VMs, Zabbix server plus frontends, and the Zabbix database. And I was not satisfied with this setup for the following reasons. Let's talk about the minor issues I didn't like. Configuration management, or just changing something and wanting it to be replicated to every other servers that had the same monitoring, I mean the same hardware to monitor, the same services. It was some sort of pain. Well, we are fond users of SaltStack, and we have created scripts to update the configuration using the API, but we had to manage working with 10 different front ends, so changing something, if we wanted to change something fast, we needed to move everywhere and change it directly inside the front end, so that was not efficient. As well, moving one template to the other side meant modifying the template, exporting it in XML, pushing it to a Git repository, and playing various SaltStack recipe to make sure that it was pushed everywhere. And it took time, and it was not very agile. As well as was not satisfied with something called dog fooding. Well, we have the culture in 3ds Healthcare to do dog fooding, meaning that we want to use our cloud to do quite everything. And at this time, these two VMs were running on VMware Hypervisor out of the cloud, and I wanted the monitoring service to run on the cloud itself, even to monitor the cloud. And for the major issues, I was not satisfied with performance. We started having issues with Zabbix server that had to deal with more than 1,000 NVPS. And it was not working very well for them. They start crashing, or we starting having issues that woke me and other engineers at night. As well as was not absolutely not satisfied with the resilience of the solution we had, because one database crashing meant that the service was just stopped. As well, one server crashing meant that the service was stopped. Of course, the different Zabbix server platforms were cross-monitoring themselves, so we knew that something was going on in each of them, but we wanted the service to be fully available more, and this is why we started working on the Zabbix Cloud project. So, well, to make things clear, this is the name we have given to the project. This is not Zabbix through Zabbix Cloud. This is just the name of the project. So we decided to create a better Zabbix platform with more performance, that was more resilient and more convenient to use for the teams. So this way, as I had more and more work, I started by requesting politely to make things better. I asked for a Zabbix training, what I got, and I became certified. I asked also for a small team. So we recruited 3 of my coworkers called Kevin and Romain, that joined me in making the platform better. So the monitoring team that was freshly created 2 years ago managed the monitoring platforms. We operate them and make them available 24 hours and 7 days a week. We are set up to provide the monitoring work requested by the other team. Okay, so the infrastructure team wants to monitor a NetApp storage system that has just been deployed. They create a ticket to us, and we just do the work to do the SNMP configuration, add the host with salt stack states, and make it work. And we work on various projects that are linked to monitoring. So, what is our toolkit to create the new platform that will be more resilient and performant? We use SaltStack for the configuration management and the orchestration. We use also Salt Cloud, that is part of the Salt Master package, to deploy a VM in the cloud and install automatically the SaltStack minion, that is a SaltStack client for those that are not used to SaltStack. We use, of course, Git and Git repositories, a lot of backup tools, and cloud accounts to request the API and ask for resources. So, what did we do with our old Zabbix platforms? For the moment, they will survive. There is no point in stopping them or moving them out of the production for now. So they will survive and just continue their monitoring while we deploy the new one. So our first move was to deploy an ADM VM in the EU West 2 region, where we deployed all the software I said that was our toolkit. We then started writing for a month salt states and cloud infrastructure configuration. So we have written all the salt states to deploy the Zabbix database, the Zabbix servers, and quite everything we wanted to deploy, as well as writing which VM we wanted the API to create with which IP, which volumes, which performance for the storage, and everything. And on each of the cloud platform, where we had to monitor any device or any services, we created VPC, so Virtual Private Cloud, where all the proxies coming and all the instances that we will be working with will be located. And talking to the various firewalls we have on each region, they are able to communicate with the VLANs and subnet where we have all the devices, hardware, and virtual machines. So a few months later, what does it look like? We have our ADM that is here in Europe, and we have deployed a few VPCs everywhere in different cloud platforms. We have one Zabbix Cloud Server platform. I will tell you what is inside in the next slides. And there is a lot of proxies that have been deployed. So only one server and a lot of proxies. So this is what the architecture looks like now. As I said, we wanted more resilience. In fact, we have been asked to make the monitoring available 100%. So this is what we did in some way by adding a few other front ends on separate VMs, Percona ExtraDB MySQL cluster, a few Grafana dashboards that are very useful, and a lot of other tools, as well as Jenkins instance to manage jobs and recurring jobs, and for instance, using the asterisk PBX to send the VoIP calls and notification. So I think the main point, the best improvement in that was using a MySQL cluster for the Zabbix servers and the front end. For resilience, of course, because if one database goes down, we switch to the second one, but also for version upgrades. Because when you want to upgrade the version, we can isolate one of the nodes, create a new cluster from the nodes that is left, and just do testing on our database production environment apart from the production environment. And that's a very good point. So to this platform, we have added something like 200 proxies that are collecting the data everywhere instead of the servers before, sending them to the big Zabbix server. And just for your information, the Zabbix configuration process, that is the server configuration syncer, is having quite a bad time all the time. Okay, so for better performance, if I had to resume what helped gain more performance, specifically in Zabbix, it was migrating all the items that were passive items to active items. As well, we have started using proxies and active proxies particularly, and we have taken a specific look to the process of the Zabbix server to know what was used the more at a time. And for the database point, that is maybe the bottleneck in a slow installation of Zabbix, we have, of course, done database partitioning and tuning. We use IOPS volumes for the database, strong CPU, and a massive lot of RAM for the InnoDB cache. That gives us the possibility, when there is a burst, imagine that you have 200 proxies running, and for some reasons, the connectivity to the Zabbix server falls down. All the proxies load their data inside the database and wait for the connectivity to be up again to send the data. And at this time, you can have a massive burst on the Zabbix server. So this is where the InnoDB cache helps much because it reduces the impact on the storage when you want to integrate a lot of values at the same time. So for resilience, as I said, we are using for now multiple front ends, multiple database nodes, multiple asterisks, so we have multiple sources of alerting, load balancer, we are using HA proxy, and we send all our monitoring data twice to multiple platforms. So, in fact, we are not using only one Zabbix server, but we are using two Zabbix platforms that are exactly the same with the same configuration. And every agent has 2 proxies in the server active parameter in the configuration. Every agent sends their data to 2 proxies that send to one Zabbix server platforms that is in Europe and the other one in US. So let's say that both monitoring platforms operate at the same time. So let's say that we have this virtual machine, Grafana 1. It sends at the same time to the proxy 1 and to the proxy 2. And so the Grafana, the virtual machine, sends the monitoring information to both Zabbix server. And this is twin monitoring platforms. I mean that twice a day, we have one main platform and the other one, they are operating at the same time. Twice a day, we use a Jenkins job that does the configuration synchronization for Zabbix and the Grafana dashboard. That means that if we lose one data center or even the connectivity to Europe or US data centers, we have the other Zabbix platforms that does the full job from monitoring the devices and hardware and VM to providing the dashboarding resources. So how is the configuration done? We do a simple MySQL dump to dump the configuration table. We copy the dump to the destination node, copying it from the US to France or France to US. We stop everything that queries the DB and freeze the platform that is the secondary one for quite a few minutes and restart everything. This is all packed in a Jenkins state, and we do it twice a day. It failed 2 times in 2 years, so it was very reliable, and it made our monitoring absolutely the same on both platforms. Nothing was lost in the configuration, even small options that could not be changed by the Zabbix API. So, in terms of simplicity, we got a strong benefit by having, of course, one Zabbix interface. So we can just now update one item and see the proxies come, get their configuration, and everywhere the monitoring is updated very fast. And there is only one API for all the dashboards. We don't have to make a loop to query all the API to collect the information from Zabbix servers everywhere. As well, we are using a lot of Grafana dashboard. I really recommend, I think a lot of you are using it, but for us it's very important because it keeps the end users out of the Zabbix interface and avoid having them changing something if they have the right that would damage the configuration and could generate an issue. But firing alerts, how do we avoid having twice the calls if we have 2 Zabbix platforms that operate at the same time? Well, we have 4 virtual machines that can generate calls, and they collect the calls from the Zabbix server in US and France. And when the main one is down, because they have script to monitor the Zabbix server, when the main one is down, they process the alerts of the second one. When the main one is up, they fire the alerts of the main one and delete the alerts coming from the second one. So where we are now, we have 100% availability. We are around 10K NVPS on an average, and we have survived bursts of 250,000 new value per second at a time. So about the old Zabbix platforms, what did we do? They have been left running for all the process of creating the new platforms. And as we were deploying the new platforms, the operation team that used them were really happy to use only one interface and to see how convenient it was to use Grafana and everything, and that the fact it was more solid. So they just abandoned the old platform. But we have audited them to make sure that no configuration was lost. Nothing manual had been lost or forgotten one of the Zabbix platform, on the old one. So we have extracted the template and items, checked everything, and abandoned them to finally delete them. So, my last point in this is that we usually focus on what we have to monitor because everybody asks for it, like the switches, the routers, the VMs, so all the internal customers or external customers. But sometimes we forget about monitoring the monitoring himself. And this is what the TV looks like in our open space. We just look at here, all the cases here, the little blocks. This is the proxies and the cache they have in their databases. So we just take an eye on the whole flow going from the proxies, sending their values or having value stuck, maybe sending their values to both Zabbix servers, servers sending their values to databases that we look close to. We take a close look also at the process that are running inside the Zabbix server on the list of alerts and the status of the alerts. So we have, when something is going wrong, because as I said, we have everything active, so we can't match on having no data triggers. When there is something not coming inside the database and the Zabbix server fire alerts because there is something that makes an issue in sending the monitoring to the server, we just turn the head and look at what's red. Maybe it's one proxy that have issues working and that is red, accumulating values. Maybe it's the database that have high weights, or maybe it's one process of the server that is stuck or overwhelmed. So this is very important for us to have this TV panel. So what is coming next for us? A Docker migration of everything. That is done for a part, for the proxies, for the front ends, not for the server now. This is not tested. We had the 4.2 migration planned, and we just migrated the whole platforms from 3.4 to 4.2. And the fact that we have migrated to Docker for the proxies helped a lot because it's just very simple to upgrade containers more than redeploying the full virtual machine. So it helped a lot. We have a ton of new proxies coming and new cloud sites. As I said, we are opening a new platform in Japan nowadays. And our work and what we would like to do for the community this year is open sourcing some of the tools, salt recipe, and the specific dashboard we have created to the community. But it requires a process to make everything public in the company, and it will be done this year. Well, I thank you for listening to this speech.